Hey, welcome back to Livin MN Outdoors. I'm Daniel, and thanks for tuning in to another fishing report. This week we're going to dive straight into the fishing report, guys. We're going to start on Lake Winnie. The fishing up there is still pretty decent. The lake is a few weeks behind, but the fall bite should be full swing as soon as those water temps dip down into the upper 50s. As of right now, the water temps are still in the low to mid 60s, but with the cold temps coming, that should change here quick. As far as where you can find walleyes, they're finding the majority of them in 12 to 14 feet of water on shoreline breaks and weed lines. Now, the best methods to catch those fish right now during the morning and afternoon is pitching jigs or pulling spinners tipped with fatheads or rainbows. Now, they still are finding some fish out on the main lake humps in that 24 to 30 feet of water, but as the water temps continue to decrease, they're seeing less and less fish out there. Now, in the evening, pulling crankbaits is the way to go. That hour before sunset and then the hour after sunset, pulling shad rap number 5s and 7 in perch and crawfish have been producing a ton of fish. Now, this past week, the perch pattern outproduced the crawfish pattern, so you might want to tie on a couple of extra perch colored shad wraps. Now, as far as the perch bite goes, the perch are starting to school up. If you get in on some perch, more than likely there's going to be a ton of them there. You might have to weed your way through some small ones, but there are plenty of 10 to 13 inch perch mixed in as of right now. Now, to find those perch, shallow weed lines, 4 to 10 feet of water, pitching jigs or a slip bobber with a minnow under it, you're more than likely going to put a ton of nice perch in the live well. Now, as far as the panfish bite goes, not a whole lot of action on the bluegills, but the crappie bite is really starting to fire off in the bay. Look for the pencil reeds, the shallow weed lines, throwing jigs with plastics, minnows, or soaking a minnow under a slip bobber is boating some really big crappies in Tamarack Bay right now. Now, the northern pike, they're starting to pick back up. The size has really improved out there. They're getting some really nice big pike out there. They're getting them pulling spinners, they're getting them pitching jigs. People are pulling big spinner baits and spoons, and they're boating a lot of really nice pike right now. Now, I didn't really get much of a report for bass or muskies, so I can't touch a lot on those, but I will do my best to get some more information on those for next week. Now, if you're looking for a guide out on Lake Winnie, we highly recommend Scott from zupsguideservice. He runs a phenomenal operation. Not only will he put you on the fish, but he's going to teach you why, where, and when to fish those walleyes, and you will be a better fisherman after spending a day in the boat with Zups. Now, if you're looking to fish Lake Winnie in the winter, zupsguideservice, he runs 3 to 4 ice castles out there. If you would like to get in on some awesome walleye, perch, eel pout action out on Lake Winnie, go ahead, call Scott Zupfer and book an ice castle for this coming winter. Now, if you're looking for a place to stay up there, we highly recommend the Pines Resort. They have cabins, campsites, they have a full bar and restaurant, beautiful marina and fish cleaning shack. Whatever you could ask for, they can accommodate you. And don't forget to start booking up those cabins for early ice and get yourself a day house or a spear house for the ice fishing season. All right, now moving over to Mille Lacs Lake. The bite on Mille Lacs is still steady. They're catching walleyes in that 10 to 18 feet of water. They're starting to throw jigs and minnows. They're still getting them pulling some crankbaits as well. The best areas right now are the shallower rock structures on the east side, such as Hennepin Island, Doe Island, and structures like those. Now, some guys are still out in that 20 feet of water. They're still pulling lead core with crankbaits. Yesterday, they actually caught more smallmouth pulling lead core with crankbaits than they did walleyes in that 20 feet of water. So that is a sign that those smallmouth are starting to shift out a little bit deeper and are starting to stage for the winter push, where they're gonna go find their deep holes and hang out for the rest of the year. Now, they still are finding some of those smallmouth up in shallower 10 to 14 feet of water. They're finding them on boulders and rocks. If you are out on Mille Lacs Lake cruising around and you ever mark a boulder on your fish finder, drop a waypoint there. More than likely you can go back to that day after day and you will catch some smallmouth bass on those rocks. Now, as far as the techniques they're using, Mille Lacs Lake, it's a Ned rig lake. They're always going to recommend throwing that first, but they are getting some on hair jigs as well. And like before, I said they were catching them on crankbaits in 20 feet of water. Now, the perch action has started to fire up. They're in with the walleyes on those shallow rock structures. They're getting them pitching jigs or on slip bobbers. Tip those with a fat head or a night crawler, and you might catch yourself some really nice Mille Lacs Lake perch. Now, in Isle Bay, the pike bite has started to pick back up. They're getting a lot of those pike over 30 inches, those put back pike. If you want to get in on some of that pike action in Isle Bay, pull big spinner baits, spoons, or crankbaits, and you're more than likely going to catch some really nice pike out there. Now, if you're looking for a place to stay up on Mille Lacs Lake, Castles Resort in Isle Bay, they run a great operation out of there. They have beautiful cabins for rent. You can rent yourself a pontoon. They also run a launch service. If you're looking to get out on the launch, it's $40 a person. They provide all the live bait, your rod and reels, and they provide a great time out on the water. Now, some other things that Castles Resort is offering. If you guys are interested in a bear hunt, give Jeff a call from Castles Resort. Find out some more information on that. Also, grouse hunting. They are pet friendly at the resort there, so if you have upland bird dogs, you can bring your dog right to the resort. They can stay in the cabin with you, and right near the resort there is some really good grouse hunting. So if you guys are looking to get up to the Mille Lacs Lake area, whether it be for fishing or hunting, go ahead and call Jeff or Kimberly from Castles Resort. All right, now moving over to Leech Lake. The bite has been a little bit tougher out on Leech. However, that should change here soon with the water temps dropping. I heard the water temps are 62 to 66 degrees right now. As soon as those dive below that 60-degree mark, the fall bite should be on fire. Pitching jigs and minnows is going to be the key to success. As of right now, they're finding walleyes in 5 to 14 feet of water. Weed lines are key, especially if they are wind-blown weed lines. The jigs they're using, 1/8 ounce jigs, white, gold, and chartreuse have been the best colors. Remember, on Leech, you gotta make long casts, keep plenty of distance between you and the fish, and you're gonna catch some really nice Leech Lake walleyes. Now, I did hear that the perch bite is starting to pick up. They're getting those up in those shallow weed lines as well, that 4 to 9 feet of water. They're catching them on jigs just like the walleyes, and they're getting some really nice limits of perch starting. Now, just back to the walleyes quick, guys. I did get some reports that the crankbait bite is starting to pick up out on Leech. One area that was suggested to me is the snake pits. Also around Goose Island has been good as well. So if you want to pull some number 5 or number 7 crankbaits, I highly recommend crawfish pattern in the evening, and you're going to boat some really nice fish. Now, as far as the crappie bite goes on Leech Lake, the northern bays, they're catching some really nice crappies up there. They're getting them on jigs and minnows, jigs and plastics. They did not give me many specifics on where to find those other than they're in the northern bays. So if you want to chase some really nice crappies, now's the time to head up to them northern bays on Leech Lake and try and get in on it. Now, this week I did not get any reports on muskie or bass for Leech Lake. I'll do my best to get some more information for next week. But those muskie fishermen, they are tough to crack and they are not giving up much information. Now, if you guys are looking for a guide out on Leech Lake, we highly recommend Leech Lake Guide Team LLC. I talked to Austin yesterday. He is extending his guide season into the middle of October. So he has openings from the beginning of October to the middle of October. So if you want to get in on some phenomenal fishing on Leech Lake, go ahead and give Austin a call from Leech Lake Guide Team LLC. Now, whether you're looking for a walleye guide, bass, pike, muskie, whatever it might be out on Leech Lake Guide Team LLC, they have 8 wonderful guides on their team. Give them a call, look them up on Facebook or on their website, and get in touch with the guide that's gonna help you get on the species of your choice. Now, if you're looking for a place to stay up on Leech Lake, we highly recommend the beautiful Horseshoe Bay Lodge. They have a phenomenal resort there, absolutely beautiful. They have cabins, condos, hotel rooms. They have a full bar and restaurant, whatever you could ask for. Cam and Courtney can help accommodate you and make your trip up to Leech Lake a huge success. Now, with the fall bite picking up on Leech Lake, the rooms are booking up fast. So if you are looking to get up to Leech Lake, definitely give Cam or Courtney a call and get that on the books as soon as possible. All right, well, that's going to do it for this week's fishing report, guys. Just a reminder, ice fishing is only about 60 to 70 days away. So start making your ice fishing plans, get those reservations made. Maybe it's time to start checking out your ice fishing gear, but make sure you're ready as soon as it's time to walk out, and we will have an absolute blast during the ice fishing season this year. Now, we hope you guys can make it out. If you'd like, you can send us in some pictures for next week's fishing report. We wish you a ton of luck. Remember, guys, be kind at the boat ramps, lend a helping hand when it's needed, don't crowd other fishermen, but most importantly, don't forget to get on out there and get living.